Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Horowitz in the Sefer Mitzvahs HaKotzar, and he writes, Mitzvahs Loisar say the negative commandment Nun Aleph number 51. Shelo la'anois almona v'yosayim. You're not allowed to inflict any suffering on a widow or an orphan. Shenemar, like it says in the Torah, Kol almona v'yosayim loisa anun. Any widow or orphan loisa anun, you are not allowed to afflict. Afilo hein bali mammon, even if they are wealthy. Afilo almanosa shel melech v'yisemov, even if she is the widow of a king, or these are the children of a king, they are princes. So you think they have a lot of confidence and a lot of courage and a lot of inner strength. Nevertheless, tzarich linog b'hem kavod. You have to make sure that you treat them with the proper respect. They're sensitive, as we mentioned the other day. They're sensitive because they are lacking the security of a parent. They're lacking the security of a spouse. And therefore, no matter how wealthy they are, no matter how powerful they are, no matter what great lineage they come from, they still must be treated with the gloves on, as we say. We have to treat them gently and carefully. You cannot cause them any distress, nor pain them in their hearts with harsh words that you use against them. You have to have mercy on their money more than you have on your own. Don't ask them, don't do things that will waste their money. You have to be very careful over here. Somebody who angers a yasam, an orphan or a widow, or causes them pain in their hearts, the kol shekena maka oisan umekalalon, all the more so somebody who hits them or curses them, they have just transgressed this prohibition. And the punishment is explained explicitly in the Torah. V'chara api, I will get angry, says Hashem. V'haragdi eschem b'charev, I'll kill you with a sword. You will end up dying, and then your wives will become widows, and your children will become Yisayimim. That will be the midah keneged midah, the measure for measure, since that you did not have compassion on the widow or the orphan, and you were cruel to them, and you even hit them, and makalalon, and you cursed them. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you just breached the proper way to treat them in the right way, and therefore I'm going to have to take it out against you, measure for measure. Bein yasam me'av o mina'im nikra yasam. Whether this is a child who doesn't have a father, or it's a child who doesn't have a mother, meaning the father passed away and the mother lived, or the mother passed away and the father lived, so he's only an orphan from one parent, he's still nikra yasam, he's called an orphan. Until he grows up and he can take care of himself like other adults. But as long as he's still relying on his mother who's alive or his father who's alive, he's still going to have the status of being a yasam. And the truth of the matter is, I have found over the years that even those that Baruch Hashem move on in life and they end up getting married and they have their own families and they're raising their own children and they have their own parnasa, their own jobs, nevertheless, there's still a sensitivity that exists by a yasam, by an orphan, and even into their older years, when they're still in the formative years, or they're still in the years of building their own family, being a yasam, being a orphan brings back a lot of memories, and they think to themselves that they grew up without a father, or they grew up without a mother, and they think about their own children. Will their own children merit to have a father in their life all of these years? And it creates a lot of sensitivity, and therefore, really, no matter what, a person has to be careful and delicate when dealing with Yisayim, when dealing with orphans and widows. However, says the Horowitz, if you need to push them a little bit, and you need to even rebuke them a little bit in order to make sure that they are learning, or they learning Torah, or they need to pursue a pathway of parnasa, of making a living. You need to put them on the straight path. Then says the Horowitz, you would be allowed to be a little bit harsher with them in order to have them comply and do the things that they need to do to become an outstanding member of the society. Nevertheless, still, even though maybe with another child you might be a little bit more demonstrative or a little bit more strict with them, when it comes to the Yisayimim, a person has to be very gentle with them. He has to be patient. He has to go slow. He has to have compassion and kindness upon them. In that way, he will encourage them to do the right thing. This applies everywhere, all the time. With men and with women, we all have to be careful when it comes to dealing with almanos, with widows and orphans who are sensitive by nature, in order that we don't hurt them, chas v'chalila, and incur the wrath of HaKadosh Baruch who is the Avi Yosayim and the Almanos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the father of all orphans and all widows. Have a wonderful day.